Good afternoon. Today we're going to talk about the three read protocol. We know that solving word problems is something that most of our students struggle with, and that's evident from looking at many of our unit tests. So today we're going to again look at standard OA8 for third grade, which of course is multi-step word problems. So our learning target today is I can solve word problems using the four operations. But of course, again, we're going to focus more so on making sure we understand the three read protocol. What do we already know about solving word problems? We know that there are four operations. We know that if a situation or a problem is asking us for a total or for an increase, we know that we should be looking at either addition or a multiplication if we're dealing with whole numbers. Just as if a situation or a problem is asking us for a decrease or gives us a total, it means that if we're dealing with whole numbers, then we're going to subtract or divide. So with the three read protocol, the first time we read through the problem, we're looking for the main idea. And I try to tell people all the time that math is just like reading. So when we're reading through the word problem, we're trying to find that main idea. We're trying to figure out what the problem is actually about. So get ready. Let's read the first one together. Miranda and Joyce love to collect and trade seashells when they are at the beach together. One afternoon, Miranda had collected 31 shells when she and Joyce started trading. She traded 8 of her biggest shells for 15 of Joyce's small shells. So now that we have read the first one aloud, notice that there was no question that was attached to this problem. Many times when our students begin to look at word problems, they tend to look for the key words or the key phrases that were within a problem. And we know this because many of us, that's what we teach. But however, we want our students to take time to actually understand what this problem is about. So reading through this problem, we know that this particular one is talking about two friends collecting seashells and trading them. Now, with the three read protocol, after you have identified the main idea of what a problem is actually about, then we go through and we're going to read it again. This time, when your students read it, they will read with either a partner or you will do a choral read. So get ready. Let's try it again for our second read. Get ready. Miranda and Joyce love to collect and trade seashells when they are at the beach together. One afternoon, Miranda had collected 31 shells when she and Joyce started trading. She traded 8 of her biggest shells for 15 of Joyce's small shells. So now, when we're looking, this time they want to extract those numbers that are involved in the word problem. Once they are able to extract those numbers, then they're going to also begin to look for, well, what was the exchange? Were there increases? Were there decreases? Did someone sell something? Did they give it away? And so in this instance, we know that the numbers that they would extract would be 31 because they had 31. Miranda had 31 shells. Then we also know that she traded 8 of her biggest shells for 15 of Joyce's small shells. When we look at the word traded, we know that traded means that an exchange happened, meaning that she had to subtract some of hers. And so those are the kind of things you want to think aloud to make sure those students understand how they should approach a particular problem. So now on our third read, again, the students will either read individually or, they will read in pairs or they will be able to read chorally. So this time, the students are going to figure out which questions are asked or which questions can be asked and which questions they have that still remain. So get ready. Miranda and Joyce love to collect and trade seashells when they are at the beach together. One afternoon, Miranda had collected 31 shells when she and Joyce started trading. She traded 8 of her biggest shells for 15 of Joyce's small shells. So now that we have read this, what questions do we have that remain? We know that it was an exchange of seashells. I want to know, how many shells do Miranda have now? I would also want to know, well, how many shells could Joyce have? And from this point, the class can have a conversation about how they could approach those problems, and you can employ other problem solving techniques. So what else we know about being able to solve word problems? We know that those students should be able to look at the problem. We should be able to draw pictures and models. We should be able to write about the problems. To be continued later.